Hello everyone, and a good day to all of you. I wanted to give a review today talking about my experiences with the Wright Armory IDOT system, which is how I have this RMR HD mounted right here on this P30L. The IDOT is a slide milling and plate system that Wright Armory makes for, I think actually for all of the HK hammer-fired handguns. You can get this for the HK 45s, the USPs, etc. And they did a really good job. I've had this for a few weeks now, been shooting it a lot, carrying it every day, and it's been holding up phenomenally. I'm gonna kind of try to talk about this mostly chronologically. So starting with the ordering process and when I got this back, I recorded some footage right when I had originally received this back from them, and I'm just gonna cut that in right here, and then we'll talk about more of the finer details. Starting with the return package and just everything that came in it. So this is the original box that I sent them. They do also send back a little instructions card on how to switch out the IDOT plate if you are interested in changing out what optic setup you have on this. And then they also do send the job ticket that is the same thing that they have online. I just removed the personally identifiable information on here. And then they also did send back, interestingly, all the same packaging material. You can see that just egg crate foam, which I pretty much just put everything from my Trijicon RMR HD box, shipped it with it, because I just figured if they don't need it, that's fine. A lot worse if I need to reship them, an additional thing that I forgot. So of course the original screws, and then also the original sights that were on the P30L that I have right here. So this originally came with night sights, which, to show you that again, those there, and they replaced them with these blacked out suppressor height sights, which I really like how these co-witness. You can see they're just barely visible through the bottom of that optic window right there. I really like that. It's non-obtrusive, doesn't really get in the way, but is still totally usable as well. So that's very nice. I like that quite a bit. As for how long this took, so from the time that they actually received it on their end until they shipped it back to me, so excluding any shipping time, this actually took 54 days exactly, and that's including weekends, just to simplify the math. They quoted me 10 to 12 week turnaround, so it's quicker than that. Certainly though, took quite a while. Overall though, they did a really good job. You can see they did refinish this with a black nitride. Looks very similar to the factory HK finish. I would almost say that this would be indistinguishable, just with the only difference being that normally you have a serial number here, which you can still kind of see if you look there in the lighting, especially from this angle right here. Normally this would be laser engraved, just white, just like it is on the barrel itself. Of course, when they refinish, goes over that. Other than that, this is really nice, very consistent. You can see. And of course, nitriding, very good and durable finish as well. So like I said, that footage there was from literally day one, hour one, when I first got it. Looking at just one thing, the finish has been holding up great. As I said, I've had this for a few weeks, and I have been truly carrying this every single day, all day, and just maybe a little bit of holster wear right there, which honestly you can barely even see on the footage. And I was already getting some holster wear there prior to sending this slide in, so it's just something with how my holster fits, and it's pretty unavoidable. You'll always get some of that, but been holding up really well. So two things. First, starting on the Optic screws, they do torque these properly. And another cool thing is that you can see right there, they actually witness mark these, which is really nice. I haven't actually ran into any other companies that do this straight from the factory. It is a very good idea to do so, but I've never actually seen a company do it themselves. So that is really nice there. You can tell if these are walking out. They do Loctite these and everything, so I don't think that'll be any issue. And as I said, it hasn't been an issue for me so far, and I've been shooting this a lot. Second, they actually do bore sight, both, of course, the new iron sights that they have on here, as well as the Optic itself. And I was skeptical because in my experience, every time I've bore sighted something myself, it's always been fairly close to target, but never perfectly on. But when I very first took this out and was just making sure and confirming the zero, everything was perfect. The iron sights were spot on, and the Optic was. And I tested it all at 15 meters, and it was good to go. And furthermore, when shooting this, I haven't seen any weird deviations in where the rounds are hitting or anything like that. They're always hitting spot on. So that does indicate that they did a really good job milling it, and that, of course, everything is torqued down to spec as well. Otherwise, you'd normally see kind of a wandering zero, but just really, really well done there. And another point I did want to address is, of course, Wright Armory is, I'd say, fairly well known, but they're definitely not the most well-known company that does milling for HK hammer fired. I think the most well-known is probably Langdon Tactical. They have quite a few actual collaborations with HK. I believe that they were at the previous year's SHOT Show with HK as well. So I wanted to touch on that. Why did I not go with Langdon Tactical? And my reasoning actually is I actually saw quite a few bad reviews on them. Now, take this all with a grain of salt because I didn't obviously go with them myself, so I have no firsthand experience with how it did. But some of the complaints I heard is that, for example, they do not offer a nitriding option, and they require that you refinish your slide through them. They only do Cerakote. And I did have one of my other handguns, my P30. I'd had it milled with a different company entirely, and they refinished it with Cerakote, and it was fine. Elite line Cerakote. So I don't necessarily fully distrust Cerakote, but it is certainly a less durable finish compared to just re-nitriding it. Furthermore, even though Cerakote is not by any means a thick finish, it does go on a little bit thicker than nitriding, which pretty much doesn't take up any more area at all on the handgun itself. So those were some of the biggest complaints I saw. One was that Langdon Tactical only offers Cerakote, and two, that it gets kind of just really gloopy, I guess you could say, on there. And overall, just saw some people that just were not really amazed with their overall milling work. So I definitely didn't want to risk that, so I went with Wright Armory instead. And so far, I can say this has been holding up phenomenally. I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. I have absolutely no complaints with their work itself. Everything has just been holding up. They had great communication throughout the entire process. When I very first contacted them, they were incredibly prompt to respond, even though I tended to be contacting them after usual business hours, which was quite cool. Usually they'd be getting back to me within an hour. Now, I did touch on this a little bit earlier in the original footage from when I first got this back, but to talk more about that ticket, the invoice that came back with this. So when you send this into them, when you first pay for it and everything, they create a ticket on their side, very similar to how a lot of support systems like IT support systems work. And once they receive it, they note it in the ticket. Every single step that this goes through, it notes it. What you're seeing now, I'm going to put up some just screenshots I took of their ticket just every couple of days while I was waiting for this to come back. And yeah, it's really good. Helps to prevent a lot of the back and forth kind of wait time on email, and it just helps to show you exactly where they're at in the process. My only complaint is not with how it turned out. I would say, though, that it definitely does take a while for sure. Not really an issue in my case because I had a different carry gun, which I'm now carrying this again, like I said, but I can see that being an issue if you really want to EDC your HK hammer fired and it's your only one, then you're going to be out for a while. It does seem like their lead times have been going up. They quoted me about 10 weeks. Just prior to that, when I was just kind of considering if I did want to go with them for this milling and everything, I saw on their website it said about 8 weeks, and then when I actually ordered it, 10, so they might be an even higher wait time now. But I do think that it is worth the wait with how well it turned out. So I hope that this video was informative. If you were looking at Wright Armory to get one of your HK hammer fired handguns milled, or if you were unaware of them and now just kind of want to check them out, I would highly, highly recommend them. I had absolutely no issues. It made this review pretty straightforward and maybe even somewhat boring. That just everything was phenomenal. So thank you all for watching. If you have any other questions on maybe something that I missed, by all means do leave those in the comments below and I will absolutely get back to you. If you have any other anything else to add as well, maybe your own experience with this, or also I would be curious if anyone has more experience with Langdon Tactical, like I said as well. Would love to hear how those turned out too. Other than that, take care and I hope to see you all in the next one.